All right, so I figured, continuing on with our talk yesterday, we were talking about our replacement heifers. I figured today would be a good day to talk about artificial insemination and give a brief general overview of the protocol that we are going to be using on these heifers. So I went ahead and I brought out my ABS book for a couple reasons. I was going to show you what it came down to for selecting a bull for us. Granted, I don't know a lot about this, so I rely heavily. It's a lot like, you know, when we're feeding cattle, we rely on the nutritionist to tell us, you know, what should be best to feed and all of that. I rely heavily on the rep to, you know, like, hey, here are my goals. What do you think? And ultimately, what I had told him was, I want to have some heifers that are easy fleshing, because that was where we were struggling. Now, there's some, you know, hubbub about if you should keep heifers out of heifers. I've done it in the past. Like I said, these are in a fairly controlled environment here. They're kind of getting everything they need. It's going to be fine. Okay, so before you know, scream at me, you know, I've done it before. It's maybe not the right thing to do, but it is the fastest way for us to get better genetics into our herd, because we're gonna AI our heifers, and then we keep those prodigy, and boom, right? So anyways, what it came down to, I flipped through the book and I had a couple picked out, and I texted him. I said, hey, I'm thinking about these two. He's like, those would be excellent choices. He sent me some other choices. We looked at them, and ultimately it came down to True Grit, who is a son of True North, and I decided to go with True North. So there he is. You can see all his numbers there and some of his offspring. And you can look this all up online. You don't have to have this cool little book. But that being said, the main reason I brought this out was because we were talking about protocols, and in the back of this book there is a cool little depiction of the different protocols. And I'm sure there's more than just these, you know, that you can do, but these are the ones that they have listed in here. So you got ones for your heat detection, your fixed tame AI on beef cows, maybe a little bit different on heifers, but like honestly I think it should be, oh, this is for, this one's got MGA, which MGA is just a fed product that you put on their feed. This is if you're using sexed semen. Anyways, so I can never remember what CEDAR stands for, so I pulled it up here. Intravaginal progesterone controlled internal drug release. That is what a CEDAR is. So that's going to be the thing that we put in. So when and that's the same stuff that MGA does. That's the same thing that MGA does. It's just you're feeding it as opposed to putting a CEDAR in. It's a little cheaper. And I don't think it works as good, but whatever. Argue amongst yourselves if you have opinions about that. We are going to be doing this program here. Protocol, excuse me, not program. And it's the tried and true 7-day gold standard, you know, whatever. So the whole idea is, you know, you get these things ready, you've got them in great body condition, they're gaining weight, they're on a good mineral program, they're ready. Now it's time to figure out, okay, when does the big man have time to come breed them? And you work backwards from there. So finally nailed down a date. It's a little later than I would have liked by like 5 days, but whatever. So we got our date lined out, and so then we work backwards from there. Okay, so working backwards on a 7-day, technically 10-day program, because that's the window. Day 1 for us, we're going to put in a CEDAR, and we're going to give him a shot of GnRH, Sister Ellen, something like that. And this is the same chart. It's just easier for me to read on my phone than it is down here. But there's a that one. That CEDAR will stay in there. So put the CEDAR in, give a shot of Sister Ellen. That CEDAR stays in there for 7 days. And then, sorry, I'm making sure my screen doesn't go to sleep here. Then You pull the cedar out, you're gonna give them a shot of Ludolase, which is there again, a different drug. And then you wait 60-ish hours and you're gonna breed them, all of them. So there's 40 in that group. We're gonna breed all of them and give them, I believe we give them another shot of Sister Ellen the day we breed them. Yeah, that's what it says anyways. And that's what I remember too. It's been a while since I've done this. When I worked on the family ranch years and years and years ago, we used to do a bunch of this. So it has been quite a while. We have never had, you don't have to have great facilities. We have never had the facilities and the time and the capability to get it done the way that I would have liked it to be done. So we just decided to never do it. So last year we talked about doing it, but it was right after we moved, so we didn't. And so finally this year we are getting back into it. So anyways, that is the briefest overview of fixed time AI on the 7-day protocol. It's actually 10, but that's the whole idea, is you're getting them through the chute, you know, 3 times and you're done, right? And so it's very minimal animal handling. I'm not having to go out here and heat detect, meaning, hey, she's in heat, it's time to breed her, right? Now, when we're done with this, like I said in yesterday's video, chances are not all of these are going to take. Now, that would be wonderful if they would. So there will be a time period, you know, and I'll talk to the ABS guy and see what his thoughts are. But we'll probably just put a bull right in, you know. That way anybody that comes into heat that doesn't take, you know, will get bred, because ultimately that is what we're after, is bred cattle. It'll be kind of hard to tell if we don't leave a window as to who was bred, but I think we'll be able to tell, you know, just by looking at the animals that come out. You know, usually you can kind of tell, especially if I use a bull that I know, you know, what his calves look like, which, you know, we've used all these bulls before, so I have offspring from all of them around that I can compare and be like, hey, I don't think that's, you know, going to be from that big expensive bull that we just bought. So anyways, that is the briefest of overviews. We will be documenting this whole process as much as we can. Sometimes it's hard to, you know, when I'm holding the camera and trying to move stuff around, but we will be documenting this. We'll try to show you how to put cedars in, given the shots, and we'll get good footage on breeding day. And this will be just a fun little process to continue on, because then, you know, further down the line, we'll be able to preg check and figure out what our conception rates are. And then even further down from that, we can get videos of calving these heifers out. And after that, you know, we'll have weaning. I mean, we can do a whole, from start to finish on this group of heifers. That way, if it's something that you think you want to do, you can kind of use that as a reference guide and be like, well, this is what this yahoo did. Maybe it'll work for me. Because it's not hard. If we can do it, anybody can do it. If you have any questions, or if you think I missed something or messed something up, let us know in the comments. And thanks for sticking around.